disgusting. Among Us.
Put the phone down.
Sorry.
Welcome to this corner of this building on campus. I brought you all here today to talk about something very important. I'm worried about Kyle, guys. Like, he's not here today, and like whenever he is here, you know, he just
He's got the presence meters turned all the way up.
So a quick question. Who are you?
Who are you, actually?
I don't think I've ever seen you
Who
before.
is this man in his bright yellow jacket?
Who is this minion? We have found a minion from Gru. From Gru. We have taken him. You're the one that decided to wear the banana hoodie. Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the second season of
Knights of the
Knights of the
Just gonna make
D-pad.
fun of Jason and then roll over.
Yeah, we're rolling. Look at that. Ha ha ha. Funny banana.
Ouch.
No.
I'm just like, it's a hoodie. I like it.
It's a good hoodie.
It's a good
My
hoodie.
fiance got me this
Curious
hoodie.
George loves it.
I take this personally as an attack. No, Curious George is like weirdo owner. That guy's a freak. Dude, who is this guy who like adopted a monkey and wears a yellow
His
sombrero?
fit is immaculate.
Hurry, pure yellow.
You're yellow.
Pure yellow.
Get it? That's why Curious George likes him.
Oh, we're going to the Curious George lore.
Deep
Curious George video game coming here.
Here's George Iceberg explained. Have y'all seen those videos? The
3-hour video.
You guys ever play Curious George on the freaking GameCube?
No.
Dude, that game fucking it slapped. It was so good.
You were just talking about how the guy was weird, and now you're like defending the video game.
You play as the monkey, not the guy.
Monkey. But yeah, so Kyle's not here. He's moving to someplace.
Imagine like moving into an actual house
Imagine
with
like
your wife.
being an
That's kind of
adult.
cringe.
Well, Jason's about to evolve into adulthood.
He's about to evolve into
Right, I'm
dadhood.
gonna
isn't he?
change from me.
No, I don't know.
We got a
He's
fat
got to
minute.
marry first.
Not you. I was talking about Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. I thought you were talking about Jason.
Yeah.
Second stage, I'm
That's the
still
second. Oh, I thought we were talking about Kyle's.
still.
Yes, Kyle's gamer child.
Kyle's gamer child. Is
His
coming.
gamer boy.
his
His Game Boy.
Game boy.
No.
Ben's surrogate son.
Surrogate son.
Straight in the ways.
Of League.
He will be the next Faker, I'm telling you. This is how we finally bring NA onto the map.
With Kyle's child.
With Kyle's child.
Kyle's child.
So that was a little breaking news to your fiance.
Yeah, I guess
you're having a child.
Your child. Congratulations.
Found out here.
And it's not ours.
It's not a whoa. You're just adopting somebody else's child before you're married. You're like, I'm bringing a child into the marriage. Yeah, so Jason's joining us. He's now back behind the camera. Well, you were never behind the camera.
back in front
you
of the
guys
camera.
never have actually seen Jason. It's
true.
He wasn't for the live stream, and he wasn't for episode 1.
My
He was just
voice
in the
has been in like one episode.
where he talked about the Chow Garden
Talked about
for.
Chow Garden and Mugenics. That was a good.
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode. So now he's back. He's back.
Yeah, but he came back.
No, all right.
Bill Wirtz, you guys have seen that?
Yeah, yeah.
The only one I watched is History of the Entire
That's the
World.
only one that matters.
I know, but I did just.
So
Okay.
yeah, nothing really happened in this last week personally for anybody, right? Other than Kyle moving, but he's not here. So I think life has been pretty chill, down low, just kind of vibing.
Just hanging out.
I beat the Ender Dragon in Minecraft.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
It's a lot easier than it used to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot easier.
I got a victory royale in Fortnite on Tuesday.
I got a number 1 victory royale.
All right.
The Ender Dragon, I feel like over time has gotten like it's a pushover now.
If you have the right gear. Like,
No. You can literally just go in full iron armor, like no enchanted gear, and beat that thing. As long as you're like
As long as you have enough arrows,
as long as you have enough arrows and you have the
That's
patience
fair,
to like
arrows.
try the angles, because like you can take down all those pillars without like towering
And a
up.
pumpkin head, because then the ender.
No,
just don't look at the Enderman.
Cutthroat. Just don't look. Yeah, just don't look at the Enderman.
It's
forehead.
not easy.
Just don't look at them. Or bring a water bucket. Then it's easy.
What do water buckets do?
It pushes them away.
They can't touch
They
water.
can't hit you. See, the last time I beat the Ender Dragon, I glitched his aggro for some reason. I was doing it with a roommate, and my roommate went in and just got smoked by the Ender Dragon. I come in behind him, the Ender Dragon doesn't aggro on me at all. And so I'm just like waddling around, just taking out the towers, and he just kind of flies in circles. As soon as my roommate comes back in, he just beelines it for my roommate. And I'm just like chilling. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? I've got my bow, my Hunger Games skills.
Games skills.
I was knocking out I was taking some sick shots on those towers. I was pretty proud of myself.
Katniss
Hitting those clips.
Yeah, I was hitting the Ender Dragon, the Ender Crystal clips, the MLG.
It's a 360.
The 360 no scope with
MLG
the bow.
montage on the end crystals. I hope we'll never die. That's so like, you're like, hey guys, welcome to my Minecraft montage. Today I'm gonna be 360 no scoping the end crystals. Just all the angles. So this week was actually pretty quiet in terms of news.
But speaking of Minecraft, do I have some news for you? All right.
You reinstalled it.
You
I reinstalled it and then beat the Ender Dragon in the first day.
Really?
No,
Wow, you beat it
no.
in one day. What happened?
I've
with
actually been playing Terraria like all this week.
Yo.
Yeah, that is a good game.
I have never
Kinda
played
bounced off.
Terraria.
Yeah, I've played it a
Just a
little
lot.
bit. I've got friends that loved Terraria, and I can never get into it. But that's because
I'm just not a Terraria player.
It's got a big learning curve.
I'm not a real gamer.
Okay,
Yeah, you're just a Fortnite gamer.
so a new update coming in Minecraft. We don't know exactly when the update is coming, but it is something kind of. I feel like it's pretty big. It's the first new implement we've had in a while for armor. So what they've done is they've made it so that you can now customize your armor. So what you do is you have to go into the Nether. Have you all heard about the Nether bastions?
I was about to bet you. Have you guys heard of the Nether? The Nether.
Okay.
What are Nether bastions?
So
I know
Nether
about the Nether
bastions.
from the Minecraft parodies.
Yeah.
The Nether Bastions?
So in the Nether, there are these generated structures that came out in the Nether update. It's like these big like monoliths made of black cobblestone, and there's these piglins all over it. It's basically just their little fortress, and in there's like these extra strong piglins called piglin brutes that will
Yeah,
like
have to wear
literally
the
two
gold
shot you.
armor.
Oh dang.
Wear the gold armor so that they don't two-shot you.
Well, the piglins will aggro on you no matter what, even if
Oh.
you're wearing gold.
Just
Really?
kidding.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Bastions are the ones made of the dark.
Dark.
Those things are terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's like a big open. There's like lots of like rooms and hallways and treasure rooms around it, and there's just one big open room with like a bunch of levels, and like
I can't say I've ever seen it.
It's so easy to like. It's nothing's more dangerous in Minecraft than a big open space with lava at the
I
bottom.
need to-
It's so
Oh.
easy.
The
to
thing with
get wrecked.
the thing that scares me with the Nether is it's just like if you die in the Nether, you respawn back out in the open or like out in the,
The open world.
And so then you have to go all the way back to the Nether, and all your stuff is probably incinerated by that point. And so
yeah,
you lose
if
everything.
you're plundering the Nether, you only take the expendables. You have to.
Fair.
With I feel like with the updates, the Nether is just like freaking huge.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like there's so many more biomes and stuff. Like you have to traverse to find like a bastion. Finding a bastion is hard.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not to be trifled with, because even in full diamond, the piglin brute will absolutely schwack you. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And so what they've introduced now is inside these bastions, you're going to find armor templates. So it's basically just like little kind of like square looking things you can find. And then you use that with the smithing table, which is what you used to do to combine netherite and your diamond stuff to turn it into netherite armor. They've made it so that you have to take your diamond stuff, netherite, and this smithing template to be able to actually turn your diamond stuff into netherite. So it adds another step and another it's like more difficult now to get netherite armor. So it kind of like balances out netherite a little bit, because it used to be like, oh, just go down and blow up stuff for 4 hours and
You'll find it
nether
eventually.
and you'll get some ancient debris. But now they've like made it a lot harder to actually get access to this netherite armor and tools. And so it like makes it so you actually spend more time playing the game. So I personally, I think it's not a
So
bad
you don't
addition.
have to. You can get the templates outside of a bastion. You find that depending on which structure you find the template in, will give you the different like.
Well, so those are the
outlines.
decorations ones. I'm talking about actually making your diamond stuff into netherite.
Oh, okay.
But what are the decoration ones?
So
So
they're just
decoration
like
ones?
outlines. So you see here, it's like based on the armor.
Yeah.
Like what color, and then like if you get the template in an ancient city, it'll look different than if you found it in an end city.
Can it be used with any material of armor? Like, can you make iron
So-
armor with different templates? Or
So
diamond
you make.
You make your armor, and then you use the material you want the color to be as the outline. So you can use iron, copper, gold, lapis, any of the, even quartz. It just gives you a different color.
Yeah.
So if you have, iron armor and you want dark, navy blue trim, then you would use lapis with the trim
with the
template.
with the template.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
you can find these accessory or like decoration templates in just a bunch of random places. Like here, we've got locations like shipwrecks, desert pyramids, strongholds, nether fortresses, pillager outposts, bastion remnants, end city, ocean monument, woodland mansions, ancient cities, jungle pyramids.
All the temples,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, anywhere you can find
Like valuable
loot.
stuff. Yeah.
Outside of just a village.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I've always thought that like the armor designs in Minecraft are cool, but it would be really cool if you could like customize your armor like you can like banners. And now you
But yeah, you can now customize
So-
it with any color you want. on
And
any
it is
armor.
it is purely just vanity.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually affect. So if you have like nether armor with diamond trims, it's not going to make your armor better.
Right.
It's just going to
Maybe
have
in the
these.
future.
I think it's better like this.
Yeah.
So it's pure just like cosmetic, and it makes it so like you can have like team-based stuff where everyone can have netherite armor, but you can have like someone with gold trim, someone with
Instead of having to
iron
have
trim.
dyed leather, that actually
that is
Yeah, it works. I feel like it works a lot better for actually having like team play
servers will
with
hopefully implement this
balance.
sort of thing.
yeah.
So like when you're playing like bridges or you're playing Battle Dome or anything like that,
Yeah, you can actually have netherite
any armor you pick up, they'll probably all you do is throw into the server code. If someone from red team picks up a piece of diamond armor, it automatically applies redstone trim onto it.
Yeah, and so I feel like this is that's a good update. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be nice to have like ways to actually customize like your end game stuff, because at a certain point you just put on your netherite armor and you're just like,
Yeah, I like Minecraft. I feel like for a long time, at least as far as loadout, like the end game is very homogenous. Like there is just the stuff that you get at the end.
yeah. And so now it's an extra further one to get every single netherite
Collective.
collection.
Because yeah, you can each armor piece can be set to a different like design. So you can go and like have your chest plate be a stronghold emerald, but then have your boots be a bastion remnant made with copper.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And so if you feel like certain designs mix better, like if you feel like the bastion and the stronghold, just the decoration just works better overall, then you can totally mix and match. And so this should definitely be interesting, and I'm personally pretty excited for it.
What are does it work with like all the different dyes as well? Like can you,
No.
It's just precious materials you have.
You use the material, not the dye, like the
So
ores.
it's lapis, amethyst, quartz, gold, iron, diamond, and so use those, mix it with the template to get.
Now, see, what I'm hoping is that this is the start of next update. That like now you can put your swords and tools into the smithing table and
customized weapons.
customize the weapons.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't know, like, maybe if it would just be the hilt or if it would also be the blade, but like being able to like give a custom trim to your bow or something,
Oh, that'd
or
be
your
dope.
trident.
Have like a netherite sword with like cracks going in, showing like the diamond underneath.
Oh, that would be really cool.
That's a nice design.
So I mean, because it's like since it's just cosmetic, it would be super easy to just do it, just code it into the weapons and tools as well.
Be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yes.
I guess it depends on.
Got that reference? Dang it, guys!
Was that a quote?
Was that a?
It's a pitch meeting. It's a YouTube channel. You guys should watch it.
No.
Watch it.
Those have the most cringe clickbait awful thumbnails. I hate them so much.
Wow.
I'll never watch one solely because of that.
Is it the ones that have like they're saying okay?
Like the blowed open eyes.
Yeah.
I freaking hate them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought is it the one where they're like pitching stuff like they did She-Hulk, and they're talking about how it's gonna have all this stuff that like people didn't like about it, and they're like, oh, but she's gonna be
What?
big and green. Is it like that?
Think so? It's like two guys, but they're actually the same guy. One has glasses and one doesn't.
Huh.
Other way around.
Okay.
Quality
It's
YouTube
funny.
content
Watch
being
it.
shilled here today.
armor trim should be cool. Hopefully, weapon and tool trims are next. Let's do it, Microsoft. Let's get some custom weapon looks, because then you could really go all out with team coordination on servers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would be super
Or
cool.
Microsoft, if Microsoft isn't willing to do it, modders will do it before.
Oh, I'm sure there's already a mod
Yeah,
out
this
there.
kind of thing is
yeah.
funny because it's like I feel like Minecraft. My opinion has always been that like Minecraft was pretty much done 4
Yeah.
or 5 years ago, and everything they've added since
It's just
then
a
are just
mod.
mods that are now in the game. For
Yeah.
you know, it's all-
Which I kind of wish it had stayed 4 or 5
Yeah.
years ago, because it's just now it's getting too complicated for its own good a little bit, because it's like I don't play Minecraft all the time now, but it seems like every time I boot into Minecraft there's something new there that I'm like, I don't know what this is, and then as soon as I learn it, something else comes out and I'm like, and I
But
still
it does mean that like you only have to interact with what you care about interacting with. Like I don't think it's bad. Like it does feel kind of like, you know, feature bloat sometimes, but it's like
well, because now
but-
when you add mods on top of it, now you just like
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Jason there that it's like if I've got a big group, like the way that I play Minecraft is I'll have a cycle of about a year and a half where I do not touch Minecraft at all, and then one of my roommates or my siblings will be like,
then you-
Yep,
let's
that's
play
usually-
Minecraft,
that's
and then I
usually how
play
it
like
goes,
nothing
yeah.
but Minecraft for like a month and a half or like 3 months, and then it just repeats the cycle.
yep, that's how it goes.
It's
for,
like whenever, yeah, it's kind of just the Minecraft.
that's the
way, right?
Minecraft way, the cycle of Minecraft.
But it's like when I'm in that and I have like a big server, like with friends or siblings and stuff, like they can get as in depth into all the netherite crafting and all the different like nether exploring and all the different things as they want.
You're like, I don't
then,
need
like-
the nether.
And like I can just kind of do what I like to do. I can go explore the world and kill animals. I don't know. That's not what I do.
Okay.
That came out wrong.
PETA?
But, like,
This
PETA,
one.
PETA, this one. But I could just go explore the world and like make maps and find cool things, you know? And so there is a lot to do, but you don't have to do all of it.
Yeah.
And you can have a fun time with it.
But I just find it, but yeah, it's like Jason's, it's like they're literally just putting mods into vanilla, because it's like it used to be where it's like you had to either memorize the crafting recipes or pull up the wiki, but now it's just in the crafting table like it was on like old Xbox, where it'll just automatically put the items in there for you.
Too many items that
It
one.
basically just added too many items into vanilla Minecraft.
I used to. The funny thing is that I used to be a much more vocal like proponent of like current Minecraft is bad. I'm gonna go
Minecraft
back
purist.
to 1.07. Like I'm gonna go back to the Redstone update. Like, and then I actually gave it a try. I had that like 3-month cycle where my roommate was like, "Hey, I made a server. You want to play?"
Yeah.
And I played on current patch, and I was like, okay,
The only thing that I'm at is I will die on this hill that all combat after 1.9 is garbage.
I'm personally a fan. I'm personally a fan of like
I don't,
more
well,
skill
for, like,
expression
for
with
PvP. I was a Hunger Games player, and when 1.9 came out and it added the cooldown timer to the swings, it removed.
But there's not a cooldown timer to all swings. It's just for the super powerful swing.
Well, no, when it first came out, when
attacks are garbage.
because before it was just like you just swing, and PvP used to be about jumping and strafing and trying to like block hitting,
Right.
And now it's like with the cooldown timer, now it's just like dodge, hit, dodge, hit. It like it kind of removes the
It slows the
cutthroat,
game
fast-paced nature of PvP. And so when back before Minecraft was no longer my primary game, I didn't play on any newer than 1.8.7 or 1.8.9. I would not go anywhere near 1.9 because I just didn't like the combat, because I only played on servers.
Yeah.
And most servers now have removed that combat potion and have put their own plugins in to remove the cooldown to go back to 1.8's pre 1.9 combat, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of max crit hitting someone with an axe and just watching just dead, just one hit. It's like full sharpness on my netherite axe, just like come here,
Come here.
come here, boy.
I do like some of the new enchantments that have been added over the last couple of years, though, like mending and things like that are awesome. But it's like overall, there's a lot in there. And while I'm not like, oh, I love old Minecraft, I love old Minecraft PvP. But like new Minecraft, there's just so much there, and I just find it funny that they're just like taking mods and putting them in.
Another thing that made me honestly be like, okay, current Minecraft is actually okay, is like the things I complain about is usually like the things that are like the items and the new blocks and just how much
They're just
like
there.
stuff that's in the world. And it's like, okay, cool, I can polish andesite and it looks cool, but like until then it's just gonna fill my inventory. But like the world generation is so
The world generation is
the-
awesome.
It's all
yeah.
worth it.
The
The world
caves and-
generation is so
The
good.
Caves and Cliffs update was
Oh no, like,
Some of these caves make me actually lose my mind.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like,
No,
wow, this is like one of the most beautiful things I've seen in
we
a video.
played with these like shaders, like
Yeah.
shaders, like these really cool shaders.
Yeah.
I remember like I was just like mining down in this thing, and I walked into this cave. I have screenshots of it on my phone. I'll have to show you guys. But like, it's like with the shaders on, like tears. Like not really, but like it. Yes, it looked like
Gamer tears.
gorgeous.
shaders in Minecraft do make it.
Oh, incredible.
Even without shaders, it's still just like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's,
Oh
it's
yeah,
an
but if you can
incredible
put
place to
shaders on,
explore.
you put shaders on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You max out those and see how far your GPU can go. Otherwise, it's like you basically when I get shaders, I get like the 4 variants of it, the 4 levels, and I'm like, let me start the max. No, that doesn't work, and I just go down until it works, and I just find the one and I just let it sit and go. So let's hopefully Minecraft doesn't continue. I mean, the problem is I hope it doesn't continue to bloat itself. Like I think the stuff it's adding now is cool, but eventually they'll get to the point where they just start adding useless stuff, and that's where I draw the line, is when they just add things to add things. That it's like they're like, here's this, and you're like, an avocado. Thanks.
How long until they add an avocado? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This update.
My goodness. So some other news. Outside of that one, well, we talked for Minecraft longer than I thought we would.
Yeah, we did.
It's a lot of other small stuff. So first thing I want to mention is The Last of Us TV show. It's been 2 episodes, already renewed for season 2. How does it make you feel, Court?
Really good. I'm actually really enjoying it. Episode 2 was just as good as episode 1, and like I'm telling you guys, it's so accurate to the feel of the source material.
It is incredible. I saw someone do a little thing side by side.
Yeah.
Some of them it's just word for word.
Word for word,
Really?
And shot for shot.
That's
some of them. It's
amazing.
incredible. And then even the parts that aren't word for word or shot for shot are like just
Understandably changed.
understandably changed, but like so in character and accurate to, like, you could absolutely see the video game Joel saying anything Pedro Pascal Joel says.
Wow.
And like everything that the live action Ellie says is, I mean, you could tell me, oh, that's a line from the game, and I'd believe you without hesitation. Like, it's incredible.
So we're talking new gold standard of video game adaptations.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Arcane.
Well, but Arcane is different because it took inspiration in music
That's
characters,
fair,
but
that's
The Last of Us TV show is literally the
Like
game.
direct adaptation, yes.
Yeah.
Hands
Yeah,
down.
that's kind of unprecedented. I feel like that's
Yeah.
really incredible.
It is setting the new bar.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
Also,
It's really good.
Twitch, Jason, what has Twitch done?
I'm really freaking happy about this. This is so cool. So Twitch, this is just like a little quality of life thing, but Twitch is changing how their ads work a
Thank
little
goodness.
Wait, actually,
Yes.
the ads annoy me so
are
much.
so funny.
Specifically, they're changing how pre-roll ads work, because the worst thing is it's like, I'm gonna like, oh, what's this stream? Click on it.
Ad.
You see 4 seconds of like,
The stream.
oh yeah, I think I've heard of this streamer. What do they play? Brr, ad, 45 seconds, and I'm like,
You're like,
oh, you sit through the ad, you freaking go to another tab, you come back and realize the ad paused because you have to have it open, and you're like, oh, and then the ad finishes, and you're like, okay, great. You watch 10 more seconds, and you're like, great, I'm not interested in this stream. And you go and you check another stream, and cycle repeats. It's
Yeah.
infuriating. They're finally changing that. And they're making it, the big thing is that pre-roll ads play in a pop-out window, so you can still see the stream
that's
itself.
Can you still hear the stream though?
Probably not, but like,
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Like,
Better
oh,
than
bless.
nothing.
They're
Better than
also
nothing.
changing. Reading this little article about it, I didn't really know how Twitch's ad policy worked, because Twitch requires streamers to
run ads.
to run advertisements, and the rule was that like you had to run like, it was something like 30 seconds of ads every 30 minutes or something, and
Yeah.
they're changing it so that you can run. They're not changing like the amount of ads you have to run, but you can like space it out more. So instead it can be like every 90 minutes you can show 2 minutes of ads, kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, which is
Like-
it's just nice.
yeah. that's
Are
good.
they going to add the thing where if it does reach the 90-minute mark, it's not going to automatically play ads? Because that's something that's like, it really irks me sometimes, because I'll be I'll watching someone stream live react to a League of Legends match.
Yeah.
And it'll be getting right to like a big team fight, a really
Ad.
important part, and it plays 6 ads. Each ones are 40.
ads. Oh.
Yeah, it's ad 1 of 6, and each one is like 15 to 30 minutes.
One
Not
of
30 minutes,
six.
15 to 30 seconds long.
They are kind of addressing that, because it says that you'll get a warning before before mid-roll ads start,
Yeah.
and you have the opportunity. They didn't really explain. I don't think how this will exactly work.
Mm-hmm.
You can like snooze them, and like play them later. I assume you
Just
can't
screw over
snooze them
future
more than-
you.
Yeah. And they're
Me in
also,
20 minutes is gonna be very upset at me now.
there's also a little premium service, like you can pay for like
Yeah.
a premium Twitch thing
For no
so
ads.
for no ads. But it's like it's cool because it's like I like it's not like, okay, I feel like this is basically the best we could get.
It helps engagement by not
Yeah.
blocking, that first 10. Because I've had, like, oh, I want to check out this streamer ad. I'm like, nope, I'm gone.
And it's I'm definitely a like 5-minute Twitch stream watcher. I'm not really the kind of guy to like sit down and watch a stream or even just like have a stream playing. I like to just be like, oh, like
Check 'em out.
someone I like is streaming. Let me just watch a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And so this is really nice that like
Yeah.
I don't have to
You don't have to
ads
sit
and
through an
stuff.
ad.
It's just
Yeah.
it's cool. Among the like, it's just with things going on in like YouTube and how that's just an ever evolving cesspool of policies that
And
YouTube
so
shovels
many
onto
ads.
its creators and just how much it shafts everyone. It's nice to see that like
Twitch is trying.
Twitch is okay. Like they're doing.
Twitch is- yeah.
This sounds like an actual human thought of this idea.
Yeah.
Instead of the crap that YouTube's been doing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
That's really funny. Core, what's happening with Dead Space?
So the Dead Space remake just came out like a couple of days ago, I think. And I have not played the original Dead Space, and I have also not played the remake, but I was reading a thing about it, and I've got friends that have played the original Dead Space, and I know the general gist of it. I mean, it was like the OG survival horror, like no HUD. Your HUD is all like in your suit, and it's just like you're on this abandoned spaceship with all these aliens and monsters and stuff that are trying to kill you, and it's super dark, super gory, super scary, super cool. They just EA Motive, which is one of EA's newer studios, just released like a full remake of it. And people are saying that this is the gold standard for video game remakes going forward.
Wow.
Because it is just incredible. Graphically, it's gorgeous. They took everything good about the original, improved upon it, and made even more good stuff. Like in the original, there were these zero gravity sections where, since hardware limitations of the time, you couldn't actually like control your character in 0G. He would just like jump from wall to wall. In this new one, they've completely overhauled it so that you have full control in the 0G sections, and he's got like rocket boots so you can like fly around. And like they revamped the final boss so that it's all in 0G, and like they've like redone the weapons and everything. Anyway, people are genuinely saying that this remake is better than the original, which I think is probably the first time that I've heard a consensus
Yeah.
that like the remake is better, like, because it's just like
Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
that's fair. Yeah. But like, anyway, I mean, especially when you look at just some of the low effort remakes that have come out recently.
Or if you're Final Fantasy, just make a different game and slap the word remake on it.
But it's nice to see a remake of a classic game made by EA, no less, that genuinely pays like genuine homage to the original game, does it justice, and improves upon it in such a way that it makes it even better. Like, this is the kind of stuff that the game industry needs.
Good job, EA. I don't know how you pulled that one off, but you did.
right?
I didn't think that was humanly possible for EA to
Maybe
do.
this is turning over a new leaf for EA.
No, it's not.
I mean, maybe.
They got to make like 4 or 5 games that are half decent for me to trust them.
Maybe it's a 1 in 5 thing where they make 4 bad games and then 1 good game.
They make their 4 sports games and then they make the good one good game.
Well, this is interesting because this is EA Motive that made this, and it's one of their new like in-house
No, that's different
studios.
then.
But they worked on Battlefront 2, like the newer Battlefront 2, along with DICE. They made the whole space combat.
Oh, okay.
Which was really
Space
fun.
combat's good.
And then
So the mechanics of Battlefront 2 were really good.
The monetization of Battlefront 2.
The monetization.
Well, that was all DICE. They made the space combat, which was pretty good on launch. They also made Star Wars Squadrons, I believe.
Oh, that was good.
And anyway, they've made some good stuff. I'm excited to see
Sweet.
where they go before EA eventually guts them.
Wow. Other games that released this week, GoldenEye 007. I remember that. N64 classic.
Yeah.
is now
because-
available on Xbox and Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does
there
it
we
have
go.
online play?
And it's got
does
I
have
think
online
the
play.
Xbox. I don't know if the Switch version. I know,
does.
but it does both
That's
versions.
so cool.
So you can go and play Oddjob and make everyone mad at you again.
But when are they going to give me the Banjo Tooie versus mode online? It's literally a 007 ripoff.
Yeah, Reggie.
in Banjo Tooie, and it's
Reggie's not in control.
fantastic.
And Banjo
Reggie,
Kazooie
when
is not.
when is my
Reggie.
GoldenEye Pizza Hut coming, Reggie?
Reggie.
My GoldenEye pizza. Hut. It's fun to play that
GoldenEye
game again. I only played it a little bit, at random parties when someone's like, "I've got an N64." I'm like, "Really now?"
Yeah.
And play a little bit of 007. So that's a fun thing to have.
It's a classic.
On Monday, the D-Day happened, or I guess B-Day.
B-Day.
Bye Blizzard. Bye Blizzard China. It was nice knowing you. There hasn't really been a whole lot said about it. It just kind of like Monday happened, and like Chinese Overwatch League teams and stuff, and like World of Warcraft players are like goodbye.
Do they all just go to Korea, or like what's going on?
No, literally nothing. Like the servers went down on Monday. There's been nothing said. All we know is we're like, okay, China doesn't have like Blizzard games anymore, and that's all we know. Sorry, China.
Sorry.
If anyone from China is watching this podcast, I highly doubt it. But hey, hi, if that's you, welcome, I suppose. Also, Court, to crush your hopes and dreams. So last week we talked about the rumors that 343 is
I know.
taking
I
the
saw
backseat to
this.
Halo. Well, just kidding. Those rumors were wrong. 343 denied the reports that they're not making it. They are here to stay. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's how I feel about it.
They had to issue a full. They said Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo games now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great. Pierre Hinsey, studio head.
Okay, I will actually say, I'm not entirely bummed about this because of that last little bit. Pierre Hinsey, or Heinz, or however you pronounce his name.
He's the guy that did.
He was the guy that after they originally released Master Chief
fixed
Collection
it.
and it was a mess, they brought him in and his little company and they said, please fix this, we messed up. And he did, and he made it one of the best Halo experiences ever. So pretty recently, they booted the guy who was in charge of 343 out and they put him in charge.
Okay.
And so I'm cautiously optimistic that with Pierre Heinz, I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Hinsey,
Heinz, I don't know, in charge,
Just Pierre.
just Pierre.
My boy
Yeah.
Pierre.
That maybe, just maybe,
It'll get fixed.
they'll do Halo justice. Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
We
can hope, we can dream.
Maybe. And then finally, what's happening with Marvel? Wait, what's happening with Marvel?
Oh yeah.
Just as
So,
a final news bit.
Here's a. So we've got a multiplayer game riddled with microtransactions, and with, not great community support. What do you guys think happened to it?
It died.
It didn't go
It's
well.
widely successful, but the community hated it.
Lost the company a bunch of money and everyone hated it.
Yeah, they're playing like knock a multiplayer game out of service speed run bingo board at that point.
No, it was. Okay, so I will say I played the campaign for Marvel's Avengers, and it was pretty good. The actual, the original base campaign that follows Miss Marvel as she's reuniting the Avengers, pretty fun. The core gameplay is there and it's fine. But after the main campaign, it just goes into this never-ending grind fest where it's just
Oh, my favorite.
that's just built on microtransactions and playing the same 3 levels over and over
Sounds like
again.
a mobile game.
It straight up becomes a mobile game after the campaign's over, and it just died.
Marvel
So,
snapped itself out of existence.
Marvel snapped itself out of existence. So they just announced that they're shutting off support for it entirely come September. The last update will be in March, and then
Just let it go.
they're just letting it go. They had 5 more heroes planned, and they just said we're not doing any of them because
We messed
no
up so
one's-
badly.
No one's playing this.
no one's playing this game. Everyone else is playing the other games.
Square Enix themselves came out and said this game lost us money, a ton of money, and they were like, we're just cutting our losses. So
Maybe, just maybe, doing that to video games isn't a good idea.
maybe you should just make quality single player games.
Maybe live service is a bad business model.
Well, live service can work, but the problem is no one does it right except
Fortnite
MMOs.
and Fortnite. No, I will hold that Fortnite does live service better than just about any other game.
Fair. other than MMOs. But MMOs are made to be. They're literally supposed to be. Like you can't have an MMO that's not live service.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
No, remember when you had to pay a subscription?
You still
to play
do.
video games?
I mean, for MMOs, you still do.
No, okay, that's true.
MMOs.
Okay,
The
remember when
business.
I had to pay a subscription to play video games
the
because
bus-
I haven't played an MMO.
The
in
business,
15 years?
the business model for MMOs has remained the same since the world was created.
Since the dawn of
Because like, whereas normal
MMOs.
video games went from paying $20 to get a full game to paying $30 and then paying an extra $10 for DLC afterwards to paying $40 to get like most of the game in DLC to paying $70 to get an unfinished
at
game.
the very beginning,
to
it
paying-
was like pay $120 to play ET
Yeah, it's
on
true.
the Atari.
You know what game is completely free to play?
Marvel Snap.
Fortnite.
League of Legends.
Overwatch,
All three of those.
My
are
first
true.
one.
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. I haven't played Apex Legends.
It's decent.
There's a lot of free to play
try it.
games, but it's like the business model for games is now shifted to like I don't know what's going on. But MMO is just like we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Everyone seems to love playing World of Warcraft.
It's just,
Yeah.
they're just chugging along.
It's like people have been like, yeah, I'll happily pay I don't know what World of Warcraft's monthly subscription is. Is it $10? I don't know.
yeah.
Everyone's like, I'll happily continue paying the subscription, and then I'll just laugh at the free to play players who have to pay $10 for a battle pass every 3 months and be like, oh, how dare they?
And then they're like, wow, wow, literally. It's like, you guys love us so much. Now there's 2 of them because you can play the old one again. Like, give us even more money.
Oh man, MMOs
Wow,
continue
classic.
going. But speaking of old business models, new business models, old games, new games,
WoW Classic, WoW Current.
I've never played WoW,
I've
so
never played WoW.
Wow.
For our fun segment today, we're going over how old games compare to new games, especially in like series format. So games like Halo, Pokemon, Assassin's Creed.
Among Us.
Among Us is not old enough to have.
Well, I mean,
It's changed so
It has
much
changed
with
quite a
like the
bit.
airship,
It's only been what 3 years?
okay, not Among Us.
Mobile games, even worse. Which aren't a series, but I feel like mobile games have trended.
So I
all
think
the
it's
same
funny
way.
that even though we didn't intend for this to happen, we ended up getting into this kind of fun segment early with Minecraft, where we talked about old Minecraft versus new Minecraft.
A little bit,
go
but
on.
That
We
was,
did
that was not
kind of-
intentional, but we ended up kind of.
I feel like it has.
reviewing
Its, see, the thing with Minecraft though is it's like you just look at like new stuff, new stuff that's been added. It's just the same game. They
Yeah, it's
just
the
added
same
more
game.
to it.
Yeah.
All of these here are completely, in different entries into series or into
That have like drastically changed.
or into the
formula.
industry that have changed everything. So which
Yeah.
one do we want to start with?
So I'll start because I chose Assassin's Creed, and I think Assassin's Creed has probably had the biggest jump in and change in like the core formula of the series. So
For better or for worse?
both. So
Yes.
I've played all of the Assassin's Creed games except for Brotherhood and Revelations.
those are like the best ones.
I know, and I started Brotherhood, but I never finished it. But all the other ones, and 1, I haven't played 1, but I played 2, 3, 4, or Black Flag.
It
Unity,
was
Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, okay. You've played Assassin's Creed.
I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed games. Anyway, so the Assassin's Creed games had a pretty set formula that they used since the first one. The second one built off of it, and the second one was incredible, and then all the rest of them kind of just use the same format that the second one, where it's kind of like it's a stealth game first, but when you get into combat, it's just kind of like a parry, like you like parry different attacks
Yeah, I
by
don't
pressing
like
a button
those
and
kinda
like
combat
and then
games,
you
but-
and then you attack when the moment arises. It's like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Those games, their combat was based off of Assassin's Creed originally.
And then came the pirate game.
Well, no, the pirate game follows that too.
Really, I thought it was all about like open world and like.
They're all open world.
I mean, like going out and exploring your ship and.
Right, like so they did make changes.
Yeah.
Like there were innovations that were made, like
Did
like
those
Black
innovations
Flag.
excite?
Oh yeah.
It was like, did you not get that?
But Black Flag changed things, but the combat and like the general gameplay
Oh, okay.
was
You were
still
just
the
on a
same.
ship.
You had a ship, and like there was ship combat, and it was awesome. But Black Flag's an incredible game. But
It's not as good as Pirates of the Caribbean Online.
Or Sea of Thieves.
it's definitely better than Sea of Thieves.
Captain, what? I love that clip so much.
What a great clip.
Best clip.
Although we just passing by.
Anyways.
So they made Unity after Black Flag, and it changed things up again a little bit too. The combat was significantly clunkier, but it was still really fun, and the parkour was awesome. And then Syndicate was a game that was made, and then
One of the games of all time.
and then they took a break after Syndicate because I think they kind of realized that their formula was getting
Old,
a little
outdated.
bit stale after all this time. Then they came back 2 years later with Assassin's Creed Origins, which is the first in the newer trilogy, like the newer series that they've made. And Origins changed things up drastically to where it's much more like RPG based, where it's like you've got different gear pieces that you put on. You have you get tons of different weapons that you have to sort through your inventory and items, and it's much more open combat focused rather than stealth focused. There is stealth, but it's the combat is much more shield parrying and actual it's almost like Breath of the Wild's combat is what I can compare it to the most.
Interesting.
Which anyway,
But
very,
it
very
came out
different.
before or after Breath of the Wild?
It came out after.
Definitely
Definitely very Breath of the Wild inspired. I mean, that was literally when I started playing Origins, I was like, this is heavily Breath of the Wild.
Wow, they're also copying Breath of the Wild, just like
Yeah.
Nintendo does,
Yeah.
over and over.
Just like Nintendo does.
If it ain't broke,
If it ain't
Same
broke,
with
don't
Sonic.
fix it.
Everyone's just copying Breath of the Wild.
But they also they de-emphasized the climbing mechanics. So in the original series of Assassin's Creed games, the parkour was a huge thing. There was
Parkour.
puzzles that you had to solve. You had to climb up. There were only certain surfaces that you could climb, and it was a whole thing, and
And
it
they
was
just
really
scrapped
fun.
it.
In Origins, there is still parkour, but you can climb up literally any surface.
Oh, now that is a genius idea.
Very Breath of the Wild, where it's just just about any surface.
If
could be climbed
if
up.
you give the player freedom to do whatever they want with a certain mechanic, it becomes a really fun mechanic.
It is, but it completely eliminated any sense of puzzling in
Can you take shortcuts though by just jumping over buildings instead?
You can, but also Origins is set in ancient Egypt, so there aren't a ton of really big buildings. Most of what you're climbing over are rocks in the desert, and big mountains and things. Anyway, all this to say, Origins is not a bad game. Origins is probably my second favorite Assassin's Creed game after 2. It's incredible. It's one of the only games I've actually played through and then gone through and played again.
But on a grander scale.
So after that, they made 2 more that use the formula that Origins set up.
So Odyssey
And Valhalla. Odyssey is ancient Rome. Or,
I thought it was Greece.
It's Greece. I'm an idiot.
Valhalla sounds
And
Vikings.
Valhalla is Vikings. Odyssey was good, bit bloated, but it was fine. I haven't been able to finish Valhalla. I'm sorry.
Is it just not good?
It's fine. It's just
It's a lot.
It's a game.
yeah. And Assassin's Creed typically has pretty strong characters. I cannot get into the characters of Valhalla. Eivor, the main character, is just they're just
They're just guys.
they're just there. She's just there. He or she, you can choose. They're just there. And there's just but anyway, so there is a stark difference between the original Assassin's Creed and this new RPG style that they've done. Now, the interesting thing is they recently announced a new game in the Assassin's Creed series called Assassin's Creed Mirage that is a spin-off about one of the assassin characters from Valhalla. And they've stated that this one will be going back to the pre-Origins style of gameplay. And
the more puzzly parkour.
the more
and
puzzly
less
parkour.
Open combat.
Yeah, the combat, it's not less open, it's just more, it's more fast-paced and more button and timing.
Yeah.
Almost whereas with Origins and the newer games, it's almost it's very Breath of the Wild whereas with the other ones it's you're there and you've got a group of enemies that are fighting you, and then one of them will swing at you, and then you can press triangle to parry it,
It's just
and
all
then
quick time events
and
without them being quick time events.
yeah, it's funner than quick time events because you can just free attack, but yeah, it's more quick timey than newer combat. But I actually loved it. But
So
I
then
think
which
it's
is
fun.
better, old or new? Yes.
see, this is the thing. on the large scale, there have only been 3 new games, and there's been a lot of old games. The old games, in general, are better, but Origins is also really good. So like, don't skip out on the new games, but the old games.
The old games
really
are better.
Yeah,
generally.
It's just a difference in design philosophy where after so long in the same formula, they decided to change it, and for better or worse, they did.
I said overall it went pretty well.
And I think it's a cool. It's good to see companies innovating with their franchises, right? I'm glad that we're getting one that's going back to the old style, at least a little bit.
But now you want the old style because you had a bit of time away from it.
But they've also announced that they're making basically 2 Assassin's Creed games now. They're making one called Assassin's Creed
normal storyline
Infinity, which is going to be.
Aren't they also making a Japanese one?
They are, and that's part of it. So
Like I think it's like Ninja. I think.
Yeah. So Infinity is actually they haven't really been super clear on what they're doing with it, but it's basically like it's a series of games that'll all be under like one game umbrella, I guess. One of which is the Japanese one. There's another one that's like a Salem Witch Trials is what it looks like. Era.
That's cool.
And then just some other ones. But so they're making those ones, then those will be in the Origin style, the new style, and then they're making Mirage, which is the old style. So it's like, so it seems like they've tested the waters with both, and
they're just gonna now go with the new and the old,
making both. Yeah, which I think is great because there are merits to both.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
It's really interesting.
how about some Halo? Now, obviously, the distinction between old and new is Bungie and 343. There's a very clear distinction of old Halo versus new Halo. I've only played a complete of one of the 343 games of Halo 4, and I've like dabbled in Halo 5. I've never touched Infinite, but I've played 1 through 4 because they're all in Master Chief Collection. Yeah, my biggest thing with the difference is like, it seems like 343 when they made the newer games, they like, I don't know if that like was their intention or maybe it's just me. It seems like they made the new Halo games to feel cinematic and to feel like a movie, unlike Halos 1 through 3 with Bungie, which were just trying to make like a futuristic space FPS game with aliens and stuff. And 343 was like, we're gonna make a movie video game.
Yeah.
And like you feel that most in like the music. Like the music of Halo 4 was the Halo. I don't even remember. Is the Halo theme used at all in Halo 4?
It is, but some of the best parts of like, so Halo 3, okay, so I'm outing myself here again because I'm going to sort of steal your subject because I've
go
played,
for it. You've played more Halo than I have.
I've played all the Halo games, all the mainline Halo games. I haven't played like Spartan Assault and the 2D ones.
Oh, well, yeah, those don't count.
But like all the
main ones.
The main ones. And where was I going with this? Oh, the music, right. They had some incredible musical additions in Halo 3. Like the whole finish the fight song.
The Warthog Run. Is like by far some of the best like musical pieces that has ever existed in a video game.
Oh yeah. And then in Halo 4 they don't use like
any of it. Because like the main like the biggest climax in Halo 4 when you're running through like the trench of the, I don't remember what it's called, like in the ship, like the music is cool. I think the track's called like 117, and like it's a cool song, but it's like a cinematic song.
It's much more generic.
Like if you had just thrown like Finish the Fight in there or like the Warthog Run song, the whole segment of events would have just been sick.
And it's just like Halo 4 is not a bad game.
No, it's a good game.
I like Halo 4.
I do too.
But it was the beginning of beginning to lose what made Halo.
Because and then Halo 5, the thing with Halo 5 is its story was really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like short, but then it's like you're not only playing as Master Chief because then you're also playing as the other
Spartan
Locke. So like the story was bad, but the multiplayer on 5 was actually really good, wasn't it? And it's like its Forge mode was like the best of any Forge mode up to that point.
It was an interesting thing. With 5, they definitely put all of their heart and soul into the multiplayer of 5 and not
the
much of it
campaign.
into the campaign. Because the campaign is super short. It barely features Master Chief. And it's like, it's not.
Yeah, they flip. But then what's ironic about it is then they go to Infinite and the campaign is good and the multiplayer sucks.
Awful. Yeah, they completely changed gears with them.
And it's like from like a single player perspective, I think the old Halo games are better.
Absolutely.
Multiplayer wise though, outside of Infinite's outside of 343's fumbling of the bag with like live service, I feel like multiplayer wise they like are okay. Like Forge is insane in 5.
Forge is infinitely
and
better
Master
in 5,
Chief
yeah.
Collection's multiplayer, once it was fixed,
Oh, yeah.
is incredible. Although you're
those are
playing
based
the
off of
original,
the original
3
games, yeah.
So it's like I don't know, because I remember when I first booted up Halo 3, I actually wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah.
They changed some like sound effects and stuff in it that didn't make it wasn't as like like the assault rifle, for instance, wasn't as like bassy and beefy. It sounded like kind of wimpy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was, because like with 1 and 2 at this point, now you have like Anniversary and you have like the remastered of 1 and 2.
Anniversaries.
3 is in that awkward spot where it was just good enough to like be passable, but not bad enough to need a remaster. So like when you're playing through Master Chief Collection, you like always have, max, the remastered of 1. Halo 2's cutscene looks like it could just straight up be a movie.
Oh yeah, Halo 2 Anniversary, the remaster of Halo 2 is
so good.
Incredible.
It
Like,
is
I mean,
so
it
good.
looks like games look today.
Today.
Like they completely overhauled all the visuals. Every cutscene
is like
redone.
4K.
It's
good.
incredible. The remaster for 1 is good, but
Well,
there's
it was
only so
old.
much
It was
you can do
older,
with a game
but
that
like
old.
Halo
Yeah.
3 is in that awkward middle ground where it wasn't bad enough to get a remaster, but not good enough to look awesome. So you go from like Halo 2 Anniversary to Halo 3, and you're like, this is peak 2009. This is like going, and then you go to Halo 4, and we're back to like the modern day, because it came out with 2014.
Yeah, Halo 4's graphics are
So like it's good, and Halo 5 gets better. I think
Halo
like,
Infinite is beautiful.
Halo Infinite's beautiful. So it's like, I think if you're just going for a single player game, yeah, you play the original 3. If you're wanting like good multiplayer and graphics, then I'd say go
I mean,
Infinite for single player and 5 for multiplayer until
Yeah.
Infinite gets its act together.
well, I mean, honestly, if you really want good multiplayer Halo, play Master Chief Collection and just
You know
play
what?
through the multiplayer
Straight up,
for Reach and 3.
The best thing that 343 has done was Master Chief Collection.
Absolutely.
And now that it's fixed, it's like just play. It's like it doesn't matter if you like new or old. Just get Master Chief Collection. You get 3 old and 1 new on top of ODST, on top of Reach.
If you want one of the best trilogy, like video game stories ever put to
Halo 1, 2, 3.
everything, ever put to screen,
Ever put to bits.
To bits.
play Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3.
And throw an ODST and Reach if you want to.
Actually, okay, I take that back. Play Reach, because Reach is the best Halo game, hands down.
Really?
And then play 1, 2, and 3, and ODST if you want to. But like, it's
It's such
the
a big,
original Halo games. Every single one is a banger. There is not a bad Halo game in the first 5 that were made.
no. And it's like so, and they literally run back to back to back. Halo 1 finishes with you blowing, finishes. Halo 2 literally starts with like the aftermath of the mission and you're getting awarded. Halo 2 ends and you're flying into Earth's atmosphere. Halo 3 literally starts as you crash land
Into Earth's atmosphere.
into Earth's
Halo
atmosphere.
Reach ends right as
Halo 1
begins.
starts.
Yeah.
And like Halo 4 technically picks up, but it's like a really odd,
Yeah, Halo 4 takes place like
because
4
you're like
years later, I
cryo
think, 'cause
frozen.
He's been cryo for 4
but like it
years.
does technically pick off where Halo 3 ends
Yeah.
in half the ship.
Yeah.
Halo 5, we don't talk about Halo 5's story.
And then Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite takes place. Halo Infinite just basically says, "Remember Halo 5? That game didn't happen."
It picks up right after
It says,
Halo 4.
Hey, have you ever heard
No.
of Halo Wars 2? Or was it?
You haven't.
Well, now you get.
Now
to-
you have
you
to.
have to. So,
And for better or worse, like Halo Infinite redeemed the storyline.
Yeah, I think Halo is, if Master Chief Collection is the pinnacle of Halo games and Infinite's campaign is good. I feel like if they get their multiplayer together, Infinite will be where it
game.
needs to be. So old is better because Bungie figured out what they wanted to do to start. 343 keeps having to fix what they couldn't do to start.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest difference, is that 343 has to mess up first and then backtrack, whereas Bungie just put out finished products 5 times in a row. But I think that's just like indicative of just what we were talking about earlier, of just like the modern game philosophy. It seems like every game now comes out broken,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the company has to fix it, whereas the old games came out and were finished. And
It's kind of funny because like in the last 5-10 years, you have the rise of like early access, which is just totally a given in like the smaller game space now, like
indie games.
And it's like, I think it's a wonderful model. It's great for a game to be able to foster a community like that. And then I don't know, AAA's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Just like, well, here's half the game.
Well, see, AAA games, their early access is just the release of the game.
Exactly.
Like it's unprecedented for AAA to be early access or to have a preliminary version, and maybe that would help with that kind of thing. I don't know.
It's a sad state of the gaming industry when a AAA game coming out completed, fully finished
Is
and like
the exception.
is the exception, and everyone's like, wow, like when Ragnarok came out and it was fully completed and totally playable and not super buggy, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like is this allowed? Like, you know, like it's like
It's sad how
all
like,
games should be
it's just shifted to all like, oh, game's out, all right, get ready for frame rate issues, bugs, you know, your character's
Here
gonna
come the
all of a sudden-
patches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like for especially game like $67 games that come out like that. You're like, what do you? If a free to play game does that, you're like, I didn't pay any money for this. Yeah, it's inconvenient, but I didn't pay any money for it.
Did that? Do you guys think that? I still don't really remember. Do you think that the discourse was really that way before? I feel like Cyberpunk
was just a
big one.
Cyberpunk was just tragic.
Yeah.
Because it's like
I feel like
the
games
closest thing
actually did
the closest thing we had to Cyberpunk was when the new Pokemon games came out, because they were
awful.
clown fest, and they had to get, but like Cyberpunk was like next level. I don't think anything worked.
I mean,
on
I think
release.
Cyberpunk was more like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like,
Yeah, it was getting
more,
there.
more like the brick that broke the camel's back.
Because like,
was a
Cyberpunk
big.
was a mess.
Oh yeah, but it had been hyped. I mean, they announced Cyberpunk back in like 2007.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk was like it was the brick that broke the back, because it was like it was hyped up for so long. It was like $60-$70, came out and was a mess. An absolute travesty of a game. And like they fixed it now, but I mean the reputation's already gone. But it's like since Cyberpunk came out and all these other games have come out, it's like people are expecting on release for the game to have issues.
That is a good question though. What do you guys think was the first game to kind of set that standard? Like honestly, talking about Halo 5, I feel like it's up there. Halo 5 was a decent mess on release.
Was it a mess? I don't remember it being like all I remember is that its multiplayer had issues, like connection issues.
Yeah, that's fair.
Halo, because like Master Chief Collection had those connection issues first, but I feel like
Collection was a mess when it came
Master Chief Collection was fine because its single player ran fine. And so it's kind of interesting, but I feel like that also ties into like, because I feel like the time when AAA games started shifting to their buggy on release mess almost correlated to the time when mobile games shifted to their like travesty of business models now. So let's shift to talk about mobile games, old versus new.
Transition time.
So like old mobile games, you know, talking like, you know,
Angry Birds,
like Cut the Rope or Jetpack
Jetpack
Joyride, or like what was it, like Cartoon Gunner or whatever, the Stickman, where it was like you just bought the game for like $1 or $2, $3 maybe, and then you just had it. And like there were microtransactions, but that was like, oh, I need an extra life in Jetpack Joyride, you know, I want that, but it was like you didn't have to pay to play the game. But then the first game in my mind that then shifted the paradigm to microtransactions was Clash of Clans. Because it was like Clash of Clans was probably like the first big game that was like that implemented this like stamina meter that you had to like refill by waiting, or like waiting for things to happen.
That goes all the way back to like Farmville on Facebook.
Oh no,
that's true.
That's true. Farmville kind of, but then Clash of Clans kind of like
Clash of Clans, I feel like is the biggest.
like Clash of Clans had it before anyone else did. But then you had games like NFL Mobile that like had where it's like you can complete these challenges, but it uses stamina. And once you run out of stamina, you either have to wait like 12 hours for it to refill, or you pay some money and you can get it back.
Can you imagine a bad ending future where full like $70 AAA games had that, where like you could only play for like 2 hours, and then it was like you can either wait 12 hours or you can pay.
Because the only thing about those mobile games is that they're free. I don't think there are any paid mobile games that have that stamina meter.
Right.
But it's like the free-to-play model with AAA titles, like, oh, Battle Pass, and the mobile games like, oh, stamina meter.
Yeah.
So it's like because like old games, you buy it. I mean, it's exactly like AAA titles. You buy it once you get the whole game. And now mobile games are like it's either free.
They're either all free, but like it is so riddled with ads that it is basically unplayable. Like every single time you do a level, you get 2 or 3 ads.
Yeah.
It is it actually drives me crazy just trying to get anything done. Like I completely deleted all games I had that were that style.
I don't
Where
even
it was
have
like,
any mobile games on my
Guys,
phone.
the promised Messiah has come, and its name is Marvel Snap.
Yes.
Marvel Snap is godly.
I mean,
Marvel
that's
Snap
why it
is
won Mobile Game of the
incredible.
Year.
Like, I have not enjoyed playing a mobile game like I have enjoyed.
I have
playing
never
Marvel
played
Snap in like
Marvel,
5 years.
So does Marvel Snap? I imagine has microtransactions because it has to. But what are they?
You can pay for currency because like you can get skins for your cards. You can get more cards. Like there are like because you get cards just like as you play and as you level up and stuff. You're just given random cards, and you can get specific cards. I think. Or I think there's like a rolling selection, so you can use it to get more cards. You can use it for cosmetics and stuff, but you can play the game
Pretty free to
as much as
play,
you
and
want.
you're not at a disadvantage.
No, because well, like as far as a disadvantage, like it is a bit like okay, yes, there are 500 cards that you could get the next time you level up. If you really want to get this card,
You can add the
it's
current
gonna
play
take
currency.
a long time because it's totally random.
Because the biggest problem with mobile games now that are free to play is that they all implement a freaking gotcha system. And that is like that seems to be like the gold standard of
least
most mobile games now is a gotcha
Marvel's
system.
gotcha is free. Like there is no paid
Well,
gotcha.
no. All mobile gotcha games have a free gotcha system.
Okay, I see what you're
But
saying.
the problem comes is that these gotcha systems work, and it's like, yeah, you could end up with a super rare item, but you're probably not going to get it very often. And it eventually, as you get farther into the game, you basically run into a brick wall unless you're able to get these high tier characters and items. And so you pay to the gotcha to get more and more. And so most mobile gotcha games you are built into that model of like, oh yeah, you can play free to play all you want, and if you get really lucky, yeah. But most players are going to run into that power wall where they just don't have enough super 6-star characters or S tier characters
See,
to
I
move
think
forward.
I haven't played Marvel Snap a ton, as much as I know some people I know who have played a lot of that game, but like it doesn't feel like there's overpowered cards. It feels like a very well balanced
Pretty
game.
well feels well balanced.
Like I've never lost a match and been like I lost because they had this card that I didn't. Like it's because the decks are so small and because there's so many cards.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like any card can be viable in different kinds of decks. Like it's never. I don't feel like there's really overpowered cards that you're like hunting for.
But speaking on that,
It's really fun.
speaking on that gotcha like brick wall system, I feel like a really good example of this. I'm sure you guys have gotten bombarded by ads for this game. It's called Survivor.io.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
the one with all like the weirdly
It's just
sexual ads.
It's just
Vampires.
Survivor
Yeah.
off.
Yep.
So-
I've seen it so much. Did you start playing it?
So yeah, I tried it. I was like, okay. I was like, honestly, for research. I was like, I just want to see what's going on. Like, why is this game literally every single YouTube video I'm trying to watch starts with an ad for this game where it's like, why did she pick the gun? The gun only shoots in one direction, but it's just like I'm just like, okay, shut up. Let me just try it. So I tried it, and I was like, okay, I can see how like this system works. Where the first like 10, 15 levels you can get through pretty easy.
Yeah, they go by
with,
quickly.
Like no ads, no payment or anything. But then at a certain point, like around that level, is where like it gets so difficult to keep going. Where you have to play like 30 hours nonstop in order to actually like level up your gear enough so that you can do damage to the enemies.
Yeah.
But then like you're so invested into it, like I've already
pay
spent
money to make it
I've already spent 10
faster.
hours like leveling up my character so much, and I don't want to like I'm stuck at this level and I just want to keep going like I did before. So like, oh well, watch 30 ads, or you can just pay $10 real quick,
Yeah.
or $5 real quick, and then you'll get
That's how they work. Is you run into the wall, whether it be your stuff isn't good enough, you don't have high enough characters, that you like throw money to just immediately level up or to do a gotcha system, and it's like they're the only. Even though Kyle's not here, I will talk about Genshin for a bit because I have played Genshin. Genshin works pretty well with their gotcha system because you get free characters just throughout the story, and because Genshin is only technically a mobile game, it's not designed as one. Like it has a gotcha system, but real, like, if you actually are a Genshin player, you don't play it on a phone. You play it on your computer.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
download it on your PC, and it's just an open world RPG that just has a gacha system for weapons and stuff. And so you get free characters, and because it's like basically just an RPG, if you're good at video games, you're fine free to play because you just have the skills to overcome. You know, you can you just dodge. You're just good. If you're good at video games, you don't need to get really good
You're a
characters because
real gamer.
your skills will make up the difference. So the problem with mobile games only is most of them rely on that system of like, you have your party of characters come out against a party of enemies and you throw abilities at them in turn-based combat. And then you're like, well, if your character sucks and your abilities suck, well, you can't overcome that with like timing. But games like Genshin Impact that are, you know, third-person open world RPGs where it's like, no, your real actual gamer skill will do something. If you can aim with a bow, you can actually do it.
And that's kind of, I think, the takeaway, especially with Genshin Impact, is any kind of predatory, like, live service or, like, free-to-play system, like gacha or battle passes or subscription or anything like that, can be done in a bad way and can be done in a good way. Like gacha, you think gacha and you're like, oh, that's awful. Everything that does gacha is awful. But then Genshin does it, and they do it in a way that isn't inherently bad.
Well, and what works is because Genshin is primarily, at least as far as I've played, is primarily single player.
Yeah.
And because it's that, it's like you're not having to worry about, oh, you're going to run into somebody that has like busted gear because they paid for it. It's like, no, you're just running into the enemies.
I mean, they could have just as easily done what Ben said in Best Survivor IO. They could have brick walled you.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, Genshin could have brick walled you, and they don't. You can keep playing the game. If you stop playing, it's just because, oh, I just kind of got bored.
Yeah.
Not because it got too grindy. You're just like, oh, I'm moving on to a different game. Genshin does it well. It sounds like Marvel Snaps, gotchas, probably okay, but there, I mean, there are just so many out there that suck. And it's like, for that reason, I like the old model of mobile games is better because just there's, you don't have to worry about that. But if the newer model is done properly, the newer games are just better because people are better at developing them. And so it's like, but there's so many that do it poorly that I think you can't justify the new system.
It's also interesting to note that like the market has changed, because I think it's funny to notice all the games that we listed are these like endless runners and like simple puzzle
exactly
games, which was just huge.
Whereas Genshin's a full open world RPG.
Yeah, it's like it's very different kinds of games too. And
nobody wants to play I mean, it's like when we talked about Flash games. Nobody plays Flash games anymore. That those kind of games are out of style.
But okay, so you say that newer games, when done properly, are better, but like, are they? I mean, like, you look at something classic, like take something classic, like
Jetpack Joyride. Well, see, but the thing with
Jetpack Joyride, and then match that up against even something newer, like
Birds is a Flash game. Angry Birds is a physics puzzle. That exact game was made.
Most of the
Crush the Castle.
Well, most of the old mobile games were just Flash games ported to iOS.
Yeah.
no, it's absolutely true, but that doesn't make them bad. Like,
Well, no, but I
think,
think, but Jason had a point. They're like endless runners and physics sims versus Genshin Impact, which is literally is essentially a AAA title.
But
at this point,
okay, but like you say that, but like not all new games are. Like Marvel Snap is like a turn-based. Like, hard
so
thing,
that's why it's like
me,
it depends on.
That's not like my kind of the Galaxy of Heroes where it's the Star Wars and it's just like turn-based combat. Like I just that's not my vibe. Give me Angry Birds and I'll take Angry Birds over that any day. Even if they had no monetization in any of those new games, that's just not my type.
It's hard to say.
But like that's a personal.
The general new business model sucks because so few games do it well enough.
Yeah.
So if we're going off of just the general like use of the systems, old games are better because they're just not predatory. Newer games, when done right, have more stuff to them.
Yeah.
And I think that like Genshin is probably the pinnacle of that, even though it's only technically a mobile game. It's just like a AAA title that can run on powerful phones. But I mean, that's technically a mobile game.
Fortnite does that too.
Does Fortnite fully have a portable downloadable app?
Yeah, it has for years.
But did it start on PC and then go to mobile? Oh.
Oh, did it?
Genshin, I think, came out on both. So Genshin's more technical, but I mean, you can make the same like Apex Legends mobile and Call of Duty mobile. And things like
But
that.
Call of Duty Mobile and Apex Legends Mobile aren't the same game.
No, and same with like PUBG mobile.
But
They're
like,
different.
because like Fortnite Mobile is the same. Like you can have someone playing on their phone Fortnite Mobile, and then on like.
Here's
Fortnite
what I'll say
PC,
about
and
mobile
they'll
games. I
crossplay.
think
They're
mobile
like the
games are
exact
just
same game.
like mobile games that are just mobile games should just cease to exist, because we're getting to the point now with like Steam and Xbox that are having like the link versions where you're literally able to just play on your phone via cloud gaming. Like at that point, why do we even
Well,
need?
the thing is, phones are becoming powerful enough.
It's
now
like
that-
at a certain point, I think mobile.
run just better.
At a certain point, mobile gaming as an industry will largely cease to exist out of a handful of games, like
100% agree and
Genshin.
pray that you're right, because
Like the only games that'll still be around.
nothing's worse than like opening the app store
Yeah.
and just.
I think the
like, it's so bad.
in a couple decades,
want it
the
all
only
resolved.
games you'll probably see that are like mobile specific that aren't cloud based would be things like Genshin, Candy Crush, because I don't know how that
Couple
thing
of
keeps pumping
decades?
out money. Maybe within one.
I think in a couple of decades, VR will be the big thing. But that's my
Like
that's
I
my
think the
personal
mobile
Elon Musk.
we're playing Sword Art
Player
Online.
One.
So it's like within a little while, I think the mobile game industry as a whole will cease to exist outside of the already big established games that are already there, and like nobody's gonna be playing games on their phone that they've downloaded as an app. Everyone's just gonna be doing cloud gaming.
Well, like I sadly don't think that branch of mobile gaming will ever die, because that's like
Because it makes
it's much
too
more like
money.
general populace.
That's true.
The gamers will have like
Will have the-
stuff that
have
they do
the
on their
gamer
phone and
alert.
crap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna freaking play the new Resident Evil on my phone. Like that's cool, but like
Your average.
there's always gonna be a market for all
Yeah.
trash mobile games.
Ben, what was your what was your thoughts about mobile gaming though? Because
It was basically just along those lines, like old games like Angry Birds, Geometry Dash.
which is on Steam.
Like they're all basically just flash games that were
Yeah.
ported over to
yeah.
mobile, and they worked.
And they
Like some of them were free, some of them you paid
for it.
$2 for it, and they were good.
small
You
price.
paid
Balloons
pay for
Tower
salvation.
Defense.
Bloons Tower Defense 5. That's basically the most I've played. Bloons Tower Defense 5.
That's
It's just
probably my
on
most played mobile game.
And so they're all just like they're really good games, but then you have these new style ones where it's all about ads. Just get your ads. Just,
They just want
shove them
money.
down your throat. Just take your ads.
My little brother, I love him to death. But every time I go home, but every time I go home and visit, he's like, "Do you have any games on your phone?" And I'm usually like, I've got a few. Like,
No
I've got
way.
Minecraft.
People actually do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Any games on your phone?
You have any I get asked that all the time by my little cousins and siblings, all the time. But anyway, so whenever I go home for a little bit of time, I'll usually allow him to just install some games on my phone, and then I'll almost immediately delete them as soon as I go back with the Provo. But it's like, so more recently over Christmas break, he installed a bunch of them, and like just a bunch of different games that he was playing all the time. And like, they're fun, but yeah, every single one is riddled with ads. And the ads are like, these are games tailored towards children, right? And the ads
The
are
ads
like,
are not.
they are not. They are grotesquely adult.
They're-
And like,
Yeah,
to the
like
point,
there's some of these like visual novel style ones.
The visual
where it's
novel
like-
ones are
it's, like,
hilarious, though. I'm gonna be
heavy
honest.
romantic, but then like
Yeah.
also video game ads, I despise how like they've all become super like just fake.
Yeah.
Like you'll have like all these games feature like, oh, you have this pin pulling one where you have to get the guy to get his gold or not have it melted by
It's really
lava.
funny. Like I've never like played those clickbait games.
It's funny seeing
and
those
then
ads.
I've seen. I don't want to throw her under the bus. I think it's adorable. My fiance plays those games. She plays the clickbait ad games, and
Yeah.
it's like it's really funny because I see her play them, and I'm like,
I've seen an
that's
ad for that
nothing
game.
like the ad. It's like,
Yeah.
or it's like, okay, sometimes it's like, okay, that looks really dumb, and sometimes it's like, no, this is just like an actual game.
Yeah.
Why is the ad so weird and dumb and clickbait and
Yeah.
They
Oh,
just,
yeah.
they're all they're trying to do is get a child into
trying
the
to get
game,
kids, yeah.
and then to buy the stuff. And
The one that angers me most is the one where it's like it's a straight path and it has like little gates and it's like one's like
oh yeah,
oh yeah.
It's so I like because the stuff where it's like, oh, like do this before it's too late, but like as soon when you see the ads that are just like it purposely takes unoptimal paths and stuff, it's like that's brilliant because everybody who sees that is gonna be like, but but I have to fix. No,
But yeah.
I have to fix it.
I hate it so much.
It's such a clever advertising strategy.
The ones that kill me are the ones that just straight up use gameplay from other games.
Those are hilarious.
There was a big uproar a little while ago because there was this game and it was supposed to be like a like fighting different army, like using different armies to fight each other. They straight up ripped gameplay from the newest Total War game. Like I think it was Total War Rome 2.
Incredible.
They just straight up ripped gameplay from that, put it in their ad, and said, "Look at our game."
It's the Wild West, dude. It's so funny.
Well, there was another. I don't remember if it was a mobile game or not. There was another ad where they literally just took the map Dorado from Overwatch and made that like the background and like the scene, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute! I know that area."
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, like, it's just become so crazy how these games are so ad riddled, and then in order for them to make money, they put out ads for other games to show or for to go
YouTube
on to
and
like
whatnot.
YouTube or wherever, where it's just these super
The
dumb
modern mobile
ads.
game industry sucks. The old mobile game industry good.
Yeah.
The top tier modern mobile games good. Better than the top tier old ones, but I think
disagree. Angry Birds.
I think in general, just like the general industry sucks now, and I think the old industry was better, and I wish we could go back.
The sad thing is though is that it works. They make tons of money. Have you guys seen those Raid Shadow Legend commercials where it's like fully CG'd characters?
Oh
and
yeah,
and it looks
Clash of Clans
incredible, like
has
Clash of
really
Clans.
good cinematics.
Or they like there was the one mobile game that hired like Liam Neeson
I
to
think
do
that
an
was
ad.
Clash.
Was that Clash?
No, it was like some weird Clash ripoff. I remember that.
Yeah, like they make.
Oh, they make a lot of money. That's
which
why
is-
it exists.
Which is
That's why
sad
it goes.
because I don't know.
That's why it goes.
I think that they would probably make more money if they didn't do that, but I don't know.
Maybe, I don't
it's
know.
easier for them, I guess. I don't know.
Pokemon.
Pokemon is a game.
Segue.
I love the Pokemon games. I haven't played anything since X and Y.
I don't think any of us has, which is a problem because it's like old versus new
been outside
Pokemon
of
games, and Kyle's not here.
The only one I've played is Pokemon Go.
Kyle,
Sorry to say that.
we're talking to you now, Kyle. We're sorry, we're talking about Pokemon without you.
Well, it is interesting because like Pokemon
Not sorry, guy.
was a extraordinarily formulaic series. Like
It still is, isn't it?
no, that's the thing is because
Well, battles are still the same.
Not really.
So
Not really?
Pokemon, the original Pokemon introduced a formula. The game's built upon that, and there was really not a lot of change for like 20 years, and 15. I don't know, cause like I've played up through like I played X and Y on the 3DS, and it's like you're starting to get. I don't know, other overworld mechanics and stuff. And it's like for me coming to Pokemon games, I still love the old, like I still love freaking Red and Blue because some of it is nostalgia because there's a lot of jank and just some like bad crap in that games. But like I don't play Pokemon for the story. I don't know why you ever would. And
have
Pokemon's
story.
have become way more like narrative driven and way more narrative heavy.
Well, and there's more
cutscene
mechanics to
heavy.
them.
And it's like my least favorite part of the games, you know,
Right.
is like
I just want to see my Groudon demolish a bunch of Mallow,
it's
please.
just like, it's like I just want to play like Pokemon games are extraordinarily linear, and it's always been like you do 4 or 5 or 6 badges, you go confront the evil team, you do the 7th and 8th, go fight the Elite Four post game, and the worlds have always been very controlled, and it's like
Yeah, now they're not.
I'm getting to that because it's like
Breath of
you
the
play
Wild.
Because Breath of the Wild came out and they went, that looks cool, let's do that again. But slap
Breath of
the
Wild is-
Pokemon on it.
Change the world. Everything's open world now, and it's usually good.
Well, and like I know that the last two, what was the one that came out last year? The
Arceus.
Arceus
Legends
came out
Arceus.
last year. Oh no, the one that came early last year.
Sword and Shield.
Oh wait, no, Arceus was Arceus.
Arceus. Well,
Sword
Arceus
and
is the
Shield.
main line. Arceus is a spin-off.
It's a spin-off.
That was a spin-off?
Yeah, Arceus is a spin-off.
But the new one, Scarlet and Violet, is very
Yeah.
Arceus-esque.
So Sword and
Yeah.
Shield. I haven't played Sun and Moon, but Sword and Shield started to change things. You know, like it was a bit more open world. You had to like.
I
don't have
actually
to
did
raise
play
your-
a little bit of Sun and Moon, and it's
Yeah?
pretty much like the old ones.
Yeah, it looks a lot like X and Y. Sun and Moon, they were like, okay, we're gonna change how like gym leaders work, and they're not gym leaders anymore. And I think you can do them in any order, kind of thing. So they were pushing that a little bit, but it's still like goodness gracious, there's like 6 hours of cutscene in any given Pokemon game, and it drives me crazy. So Sword and Shield was still very linear, I'm pretty sure, except it had the I don't remember what they're called. I haven't played the stupid games. The wandering region where it's like the area where you
like
could
the
go
field area, or
where
whatever
you
it's
could, like, there were
called,
like
yeah.
wandering Pokemon. That was the first time you had like Pokemon wandering around the grass, and you could like
Right.
go up and walk up and fight them. They added the raid battles and stuff. You still had a really over-bloated story that's dumb and doesn't freaking matter, and cutscenes are stupid in Pokemon games. And Scarlet and Violet is like really leans into that, because Scarlet and Violet
It's all
is
open world.
practically open world. And what's cool about that is in all the other in the other games, it's like you've had some like you've had these like narratives in any Pokemon game. It's like, okay, yeah, you have the gyms,
Yeah.
and you have the Elite Four, and then along the way you're going to be fighting the Team Galactic, Team Rocket, whatever Team Skull of that game, and then you're going to have to confront them, and you have to do it in order still, where that's just like the big confrontation there is in the middle. Scarlet and Violet separates them, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Because you can just go do all the gyms, and then you can go do all the Team Star stuff, and you can go get all of the good sandwiches to feed to your motorcycle.
I really don't like the motorcycle Pokemon. I knew they needed to add a mechanic where you can get around faster. But I think just the overall design of having a Pokemon,
Really silly.
that's just like a motorcycle.
It works so much better. So I had a friend that played Arceus and let me watch her play Arceus because I was curious about it. And like Arceus seemed like it did it at least decent, because like in Arceus it wasn't just you had your motorcycle Pokemon, it was like you had a bunch of different Pokemon that you could ride on for different things. So you had one that could fly, you had one that was like a deer thing that you could ride on, you had one that was like good at climbing walls.
This big Sneasel,
And then,
whatever.
and then you had one that you could like swim with, like you used as a boat. And it's like that concept is cool.
It works.
Having a motorcycle Pokemon,
I think
is weird.
I think that it's like it's a different way. Like they tried it. It's a different way of doing it, and like I think it's honest. It's like it's weird, and it's kind of weird. I haven't played it, but it's like they involve it into the story, because like that storyline with that rival, because you kind of have a different rival for each one. We have this interesting storyline of like the reason that he is looking for these Herba Magica that you're feeding to your motorcycle that gives him superpowers. The reason he's looking for them is because he's like trying to find something to like help this like dog Pokemon that he's had his whole life that's like really sick and dying. And it's like people have talked about it, like it's actually a really kind of sweet story, and it's interesting. And
So why the heck are you fighting against him? Why are you stealing
played it.
You gotta go
you're just
faster.
you're just like it's just like the comparison of like, because like you're working together the whole time, and then it's like, okay, let's like test out our Pokemon kind of thing. But and then you go and fight giant Pokemon. You just have basically solo raids, I guess.
So old versus new, inconclusive.
Inconclusive is that I like how it's less linear. Like I think that that's a good thing. And the thing,
But you
with,
think
like,
there's too much story.
I freaking hate cutscenes in Pokemon games. Thanks for trying to keep me on track, Aiden. I have a lot to say about Pokemon. But like,
we want to hear it.
and it's like, and like, I love that it's not just you do these things. It's like, no, you can go. It's like freaking an MMO or somewhere. It's like, no, you can go somewhere that you're not ready for.
Yeah.
You can go get slapped, and that's awesome. because
Sometimes
that's
you do need to
never,
get slapped.
Ever been a thing in a Pokemon game?
Yeah.
Because the Pokemon games have been straight lines that they bend and turn into a map. You know, and I think it's a wonderful change. And yeah, it's got some really funny bugs that a lot of them have been fixed, but goodness gracious, did it give us some good content. And it's like, I'm happy to see that they're trying new things.
Yeah.
And that some of them are sticking, some of them are working.
They just need to polish it a little.
Polish it a little
Yeah.
bit, like every other AAA game.
The base concept is there.
Fix it.
It just needs to be
Fix it.
polished.
I mean, that's the exact same with Halo.
And
like
I
we
think
were
that
talking
makes
about.
sense. Yeah.
And I think it's cool that like I've heard people saying that Scarlet and Violet is like their favorite Pokemon game.
Yeah.
For in years, and I think that's awesome. It does something to capture that.
Right.
Just fix it.
Like base gameplay wise, it's incredible, but it's so buggy, and they just need to do that. Fix that.
And it kind of looks really bad. It looks like trash.
it looks awful. Okay, I'm just like, the Switch is a great console,
But
Nintendo's like, we want to have the Switch for the next 10 years, and I'm like, no, like the Switch is going to it's already outdated. It was outdated when it came out. Like my phone is more powerful than the Switch. Like it's like I love the Switch and I love what Nintendo can do with it, but they need to
where
upgrade
if
their
you can
hardware.
emulate the game on a computer, you'll be able to play it better than if you just played it on the Switch.
Oh yeah, emulating Breath of the Wild on my PC, I can get it running a crisp 160 FPS. It's
And you can put mods on it if it's on the
put mods
PC.
on it.
It's
It's
really
great.
easy.
but
That's funny.
that said, I love the Switch. Continue with Pokemon. Sorry, I had to go with on a weird aside.
Yeah.
Well,
I like Pokemon.
Inconclusive, new versus old. It's cool that it's not going linear. Too much story.
Yeah.
too much
I
story.
mean, they're
Okay.
freaking never gonna change that.
Jason doesn't like Pokemon stories.
Jason doesn't like Pokemon.
If you want to beat him up later, Kyle, you know where to find him. Here, Saturday mornings.
So Pokemon is super competitive and it has too much story. You know what doesn't have any story, but is
League of
also super
Legends.
competitive? League of Legends. So talking about competitive League of Legends, there's just been not much has happened this last week. Something that really big did happen. So there was a League of Legends player here at BYU.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah. So he recently went out and actually made it onto an academy team for Esports organization. And so because the person of the same role had to leave for the main team, he actually for this last week played on the main team. And so he got his first LCS debut in
We have a BYU player in
BYU player
LCS.
in LCS, yeah, and it was just super cool to watch that. Like, I never thought I would be a Golden Guardians fan, but I was for those 2 games.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
it's really cool to see. Big shout outs to Young. He's really going out there, and so best of luck to you.
Represent.
Awesome.
Represent.
Oh, and we got the BYU Esports
the
jersey.
BYU
in the
Esports
back.
jersey.
Represent.
Give us an official esports team, BYU.
So, really big kudos to him.
Did they win?
No, they went 0-2, but that's because they played against 2 like the best teams.
Yeah, weren't they playing like Gen G?
They were playing. Oh no, Genji's a Korean team.
Oh, no,
they were
no.
playing EG, which
That was what it was.
a previous LCS winner, and then C9, which is the current LCS champion. So, it's
Unlucky.
they
Worked
had
out for them.
they
The
had an
storybook
unlucky.
didn't quite go the way that we wanted it to.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, people had really good things to say about Young. So maybe he has prospects as a NA grown home talent. So
Maybe. Let's go.
we'll have to see. But so North America's looking about as clown fiesta as usual. Europe is looking like lots of fun. We've got G2 looking like they're back in their 2019 style where they're just absolutely slamming everyone.
Yeah.
And
Just to get knocked out at Worlds.
Oh, actually 2019 is the one they made it to the World's final.
Oh.
So
Maybe not.
So I'm hopeful that it's when they won the MSI, the mid-season World Championship. So we'll have to see.
Just kidding.
The China League LPL is looking about as crazy as ever. But so in Korea, T1 Carrier is an absolute psychopath. All right, because he's a support player, but he plays basically anything that is not a support.
Oh, he
in the
goes for
support role.
damage?
Like it's not even like he's going for damage. He's just playing champions that don't go there. Like like Callista. Last night he played Callista support. Okay, y'all probably don't know Callista, but Callista is not at all a support champion. And
Is she like classified as a support champion?
not at all. She's a deep. It's basically imagine playing Sojourn as a
In the
support.
support role, but so it does 0 healing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, does Callista do no healing?
No healing.
Wait a minute.
So he played like full, like kind of like.
So what do they do? Like, how many damage healers do you typically have on a team?
I mean, depends on what kind of comp you're going for, but you usually have like a tank, maybe like 1 pseudo tank bruiser, and then 2 damage and 1
So
support.
in other words, they were playing triple DPS comps.
So yeah, I think they also had like, I don't remember their exact comp, but it was just, oh my gosh, Carrie is such a.
That's so funny.
He played Caitlyn support another day, which is like, if you remember Caitlyn from Arcane, she's also just a AD carry DPS character.
So he actually just went, I've had enough of supporting you. I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it.
myself.
And so he just comes out and just like brings these AD carries. He's the one that popularized Ashe support, I feel like. And so
Did
Ashe
they
is
win?
Yeah. Oh, it
would have been
was
funny if
literally
they had lost.
it would have been funny. But the thing is, it was literally like it was T1 against DK, which is like the other top team in the LCK. It was like this was a big match, and so they're both 1-1. It was like
And
a
he's
tie-
out here clowning
Yeah.
playing DPS
Yeah.
heroes in the support category.
It was a best of 3, and so they were 1-1. So whoever won the next game won. And he's just like, all right, let me pull out Callista support, and it was oh my gosh.
He's like, guys, trust me.
Trust me.
So that's all I have to say.
That's interesting. I mean, you got to think his team must have huge amounts of faith in him to not just immediately. be
Imagine
like,
the
"What
first
are
time
you
he
doing?"
did that though, in like a scrim. He's like, guys, don't worry, I got this. They're like, wait, that's not a support. He's like, I know. They're like, okay.
They won, so
So it
it's-
works.
If it works, it works.
makes
All
it work
right.
with no support.
Moving back over to Call of Duty like last week. They're currently in their final week of matches of Stage 2. Back half of last week, they had their matches finishing. Currently, the standings are New York, Toronto, Optic, Atlanta, Boston, LA, Minnesota, Florida, LA, London, Las Vegas, Seattle, in that order. If you want more, just go look at Wikipedia, okay? So they'll finish their last set of matches today, the 28th, tomorrow the 29th, and then their major for Stage 2 will start next weekend on the 2nd. All 12 teams qualify, and they're just seeded based on their standings, and then they'll play for position points in the overall season. So yeah, Call of Duty. Yay!
Do any of us play Call of Duty?
Nope.
I do a little bit. I play with friends.
Back in the day, what do you got for us?
I also have something to talk about with just a game that I don't really follow closely, which is that Genesis 9, a Smash tournament, was last.
Oh right, yeah.
And looking at the standings is kind of interesting because the person who won singles is a guy named Jmook, who like this is his first major tournament win. Like kind of only has emerged in like the last year or so.
Who does he play?
He played solo Sheik. He like only played
Sheik?
which is
Doesn't Sheik not have like an easy KO? Like she doesn't have like a really powerful smash attack.
Sheik
in
is
the ultimate.
her forward air is kind
Yeah,
of
it's
busted.
fine, but yeah, Sheik is. I don't think is someone we really.
Sheik
seen a
isn't
whole lot.
usually-
Was this ultimate or?
This is melee.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Oh,
okay.
okay,
No,
then
Sheik and
yeah.
Melee's fine. I play
Who's
Sheik
ultimate in a
Melee.
second. Yeah. Sheik and melee, and in the top in the semifinals in the top 4, everybody played Fox. One person played Fox and Sheik, and the Jmook only played Sheik. So it's kind
Welcome to Melee.
didn't
That's
play
pretty
Fox.
standard.
But the is also funny because grand finals was Jmook versus IBDW, who was also Jmook's doubles partner in the doubles bracket.
Wow.
And they went to grand finals in doubles. as
I
well.
would hope so.
And they actually lost.
Wait a minute.
They lost doubles to Hungry Box and Plup.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Hungry Box.
Hungry Box.
Hungry Box, Juan, we love.
The
you.
OG.
Hope you find that pizza one day. But yeah, another funny thing to note is that Mango, the legendary player,
legend.
got his lowest standings he's ever
Oh,
gotten.
he's
ever.
falling off.
No, he just sandbagged. He
Oh,
played-
wait a minute.
He
Okay.
played Dr. Mario and sandbagged.
Oh,
Why did he
no.
sandbag?
I don't know. He's Mango, dude.
That's actually
He does
really
what he
funny.
wants.
He
does
got
what he wants.
97th, which is the lowest he's ever gotten in a major tournament.
All right. What about Ultimate? Who won the Ultimate tournament?
Ultimate was won. I don't know these people, but Ultimate was won by a guy named Mick Leo, who played.
Oh, MK Leo.
MK Leo. Yeah,
Yeah, he's one of the
played
best.
Freaking Joker and Pyramithra and Rob. And, Byleth. So just a real fun.
That's
guy at
an
parties.
interesting.
MK Leo is a. Yeah,
Who's the
he's-
highest rank Steve main?
No, there is a guy who's been shaking up the competitive scene with Steve. Because,
It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
Because Steve is kind
I
of.
heard that like a year ago.
Yeah, it was like a while ago. Because Steve's kind of.
It's funny to look at the Ultimate final standings because MK Leo took home first with 4 listed characters, and second through fourth only had 1. They were Peach, Fox, and Sonic.
Sonic.
Sonic's not bad
Sonic
in
player
Ultimate.
got fourth.
What is he? Is he out here just counter picking or something? That's got to be what it is.
Yeah, it must have been because
No, there's no.
Sonic's not bad.
Well, no, but there's no
'cause
other
MK Leo
reason.
playing 4
There's no other reason you'd pick 4 different heroes unless you're trying to counter pick.
Oh, you're talking about MK Leo. I thought you were talking about the Sonic.
yeah, I literally don't know like any of these names. Just kind of sad.
Can we read them off?
Yeah.
really quick? The top four.
MK Leo, Mute Ace, Light, Sonics. Yeah, he plays Sonic. I
Oh,
wonder
wow,
why.
okay.
And then doubles was like Spargo and Chag and Mute Ace and Send and Mars and Light and Orion and Glenny. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember any of those except for MK Leo and maybe
Interesting. I know that Smash next week is having a Japanese tournament, aren't they? I believe it's next week.
Oh, also, MK Leo actually came back. Okay, so it looks like MK Leo like slowly played Joker in the final, like in the finals and semifinals, but he lost in winners finals and came back and won.
Oh, he won it from losers.
Hey, congratulations.
So he got a reset and won.
Yeah, it's like looking at all these kids. I mean, he played mainly.
He played only Joker in finals. So he.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
maybe he was doing
in the
some funky
prelims,
stuff in prelims.
He was playing other characters.
6 Smashes.
T1?
Yeah, he's also T1. He's for T1.
Moist Esports? You mean the one that Ludwig now co-owns?
Really.
I think because it's him and Moist Critical, isn't it? They're now. I think they're the owners of Moist.
I don't know. It's something weird.
It's really funny. Some other upcoming events. IEM Katowice for CS:GO is happening next week. One of their big major events, and then the Global Series Split 1 playoffs for Apex Legends is also next week. So we'll talk about those when they happen, and then as well as the Call of Duty Major. I don't know if they'll be finished by the time we record, but they'll have at least started because I think most of them are multi-day events. So cool beans. Well, anything else? Any final thoughts? Thanks, guys. Don't talk at once.
Well, no, there's again nothing else to say. I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, news has been pretty slow this week, I felt.
Someone's in the comments gonna be like, "How dare you forget this news pit?" This.
Oh, a Japanese streamer who, one of those novelty streams has like his freaking fish in a fish tank, playing, Pokemon games based on like where the fish is. This is just like, I was looking up
This is
news
so
articles and I saw
funny.
this and it made me freaking lose my mind. Had his fish playing Scarlet Violet, buggy game, it crashed. He wasn't there to start the game up. Fish navigated to the Nintendo eShop, spent, a couple bucks and revealed his credit card information on stream.
Nice.
Incredible.
Fish.
The fish just by random chance navigated to the Nintendo eShop.
Have you seen this? Have you seen the clip where like freaking Alexa DDoSes a streamer?
Yes, I've seen that one.
yeah.
Because the text to speech.
Someone said, Alexa, what
what's
is my
address?"
location?
Oh, it's so funny.
Streamers do some odd things sometimes. And sometimes they don't think.
It's a sleeping stream. You just
Anything can happen. If you have an Alexa or any smart device and you do a sleeping stream, don't.
Don't.
Just don't.
Also, just don't. Why are you?
well, if you're doing a subathon,
Okay, that's fair.
if you're doing a subathon, you kind of have to. I mean, unless you want to just be a gremlin. Which case, I don't recommend. But yeah, I think that's all for today. Next week, Kyle will be back. This guy will be back behind the camera.
I'll be here. I just won't be,
Here.
a lot less colorful.
Oh, unless Kyle comes walking in some like clown suit.
Which I want to happen now. Thank you for bringing that up.
Next
All
live
right.
stream, we'll hold him to it.
We'll hold him to it.
Well,
we'll make a bet.
We'll all come in clown costumes.
To finish out, Knights of the D-Pad is a publication of the Daily Universe. We'd like to give a special thanks to Alan Neves, Miles Romney, and Melissa Gibbs for everything they did and do to help support us and continue to do this podcast.
Thank
If
you.
you'd like to reach out to us with feedback, ideas for topics, or just to say hello, you can shoot us an email at knightsofthedpadpodcast@gmail.com. With that, we're done. My name is Jason.
I'm in.
I'm Ben.
Oh,
No,
he's
I'm Ben. And he's Court.
I'm Court.
We are the Knights of the D-Pad. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Woo!